So a while ago, Draco Studios had a Kickstarter for their Dragon Bond setting, which is a board game that they are converting that world over to 5e as an RPG. And they created a supplement book called Itza's Guide to Dragon Bonding. And I really liked it. It was very super powered, but you could like essentially bond your character with a dragon, and the world was really rich and fleshed out and stuff. And they contacted me again because they have another Kickstarter going on in the same world, all compatible with the other stuff. And so today I want to dive into some of the preview documents of Elyse's Guide to Magic. Hello everybody, Jordan here. Silent PH in the middle, and we're gonna look at Elyse's Guide to Magic today. But a quick recap on Itza's Guide to Dragon Bonding. Dragon Bonding was really cool. It's the whole world is about like there's dragons on the moon, and you can kind of like fuse your life essence with this dragon. And if I'm remembering correctly, one of the cool things I liked about it is you had a shared hit point pool between like you and your dragon, and the world is really, really cool. And going forward with 5e, I think the thing that is going to keep 5e interesting is the limitations we put. So if I'm playing a Eberron game, I'm not going to allow, lizard folk or vampires or something like that. But if I'm playing a Faerun game, I'm not going to allow Warforged and stuff like that. So the limitations that we put on ourselves kind of make the setting feel more unique and interesting. Hey everybody, this is Editing Jordan here, and I wanted to take a moment because Eberron is kind of meant to include everything, so I think it was a bad example. But third-party campaign settings that are out there, like Dragon Bond, or like the Historical Arcanum that I've covered before, or the Star Shaman Song of Plangia, those are all settings that I think do better when characters are built to fit into the setting, as opposed to trying to build a character and then like force it into a setting. In this case, playing in the world of Dragon Bond, you're going to get a whole slew of new races and class features and stuff that will make that campaign feel very iconic. So real quick, if you're interested, the Kickstarter, as of filming this, has 15 days to go. And so, but it is fully funded. Your thing is there, and they're going to unlock a whole bunch more stuff. They're toting a new magic system, craft spontaneous spells, which I'm really curious about looking into, 4 new classes, which I think they told me one of them was a summoner class, which I think is missing from 5. Like that is something that 5e needs, because I really like summoners. All the way back to my Final Fantasy 11 days. And the art looks gorgeous, just like Dragon Bond did. And then there are some new classes, being the Vola Witch, the Scion, the Summoner, which is the one I'm really curious for, and the Arcanologist, which is a great, that's a great word, great title. I love it. So Arcanologists are the ultimate arcane crafters, constructing permanent magical items, brewing elixirs and things like that. That's a really fun. And Scions are arcane might with martial skill. So they have the 3 aspects of magic: blood, dreams, and nature. And summoners have mastered the art of invocation, exploiting our new summoning system to call forth powerful spirits to aid them on and off the battlefield. I really like it. So I don't know if this is released yet, but it's his guide to Dragon Bonding, or at least a PDF of it. And it should be coming out very, very soon if it's not already out. But we're here to look at Elyse's Guide to Magic. This is the promotional preview. And so here are I think they're trying to cover all of the fun aspects of this setting that you're going to get in the book. So right from the get-go, there is the magic items. Beast Layer Arrow: when an aberration, beast, or dragon, or a monstrosity, added an extra or, is hit by an attack made with this arrow, it is a critical. So this could be huge for maybe like paladins or rogues specifically, people that have those like extra crits that they can, or extra crit die that they have when they're doing like sneak attack or smites. Flick Tip Brew: when you drink this potion, you gain an additional action on each of your turns for 1 minute. to take the attack or dash action. So kind of like a potion of haste, but lasts longer and is less rare, I believe. And a lot of the fun things, I think Draco Studios puts a lot of great work into their 5e subclasses and what have you, and it really fits in with the setting quite well. So we have Shield Witness. This is a fighter archetype. They are both lawmakers and rulers of the shield. They are drawn from the populace of the shield and can be of any ancestry as long as the individual shows sufficient mental fortitude and zeal for the rule of law. You are in pursuit of justice and order. So what do they get? They have an increased Vola pool. So jumping back over to Itza's Guide to Dragon Bonding, just so we have reference, Vola is magic. You use Vola to produce very powerful spells. And it's kind of what you would think of like as the Force in Star Wars or the Weave in Faerun. It is this like just raw magic in a way. Vola is often referred to by its aspects. Most creatures on Rava cannot comprehend the workings of Vola as a whole and instead divide it into 3 distinct parts in order to access, manipulate, and utilize its power. So making it a little more easier for us to understand. So Fae is also known as dream, imagination. It manifests in building ideas, unconscious thoughts. It's the magic of concept, beauty, order, chaos. Id, also known as will, is the aspect of decision, power, and influence. So the magic of forces, energy, cause and effect. And Ka'ab, also known as the source, is growth, creation, and transformation. So death and decay, cycles, processes, and experience. So kind of these abstract thoughts. And so going forward, you're going to have these Vola points and a Vola point maximum. And then Vola points and augmentations indicate a particular Vola aspect affinity as well as the number of Vola points required to activate it. So you get these like kind of feats that you can activate using Vola points, if I'm understanding it correctly. You gain a motive affinity in Fae. And additionally, your Vola point maximum increases by 2. At 14th level, you gain another mote of affinity in Fae, and your Vola point maximum increases by 2. So you're going to get Fae Alchemy. So shield witnesses partake of mind-altering Fae substances that enhance their abilities. Each shield witness is taught the techniques for crafting these substances so they can have a steady supply on their striving. You gain proficiency with alchemist supplies. In addition, you have advantage on all saving throws against Fae-based magic and effects. And then Mark Quarry. You can cast Hunter's Mark at first level with this trait, number of times equal to your proficiency. And if you spend 5 Vola points when you use this feature, you can maintain concentration on the spell for up to 24 hours instead of 1 minute. Kind of supercharging your spell. Impose Order. You can cast the command spell at 5th level. If you spend 5 Vola points, you can use this feature. When you use this feature, all saving throws made against it have a disadvantage. I for corruption, you have advantage on ability checks to determine if someone is lying, and you can spend Vola points to use this feature. Detecting corruption extends to a creature you can see within 15 feet. Additional fighting style, Force of Will, Invoke Law at level 15. As a bonus action, each creature of your choice that you can see within 60 feet must make a wisdom saving throw of a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus intelligence. On a failed save, they take 4d8 psychic damage and they're frightened of you. And you can increase the range by spending Vola points. And here are some of the extra magic that we're going to see. So Face Shield, 5th level spell, Abjuration. It is 1 reaction when you take when you are subject to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw to only take half damage. You create an arcane shield that protects you and any creature within 10 feet of you. I was wondering why this was 5th level, so you can save other people around you. Each creature within the area takes no damage if they succeed on the saving throw, and half damage if it fails. That's pretty nice. Plant Walk is a 2nd level transmutation. And you notice it's a Ka'ab spell. So this is touch, concentration for an hour. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch gains a climb speed equal to their walking speed when climbing or moving across trees, vines, and other plants of medium size or larger. And then Scorpophobia You instill the primal fear of being watched into one creature you can see within range for the duration, and at the beginning of each of its turns, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened until the beginning of its next turn. A creature frightened in this way has its movement speed halved. So there's a new magic system, which I'm most curious about how to craft spontaneous spells. And so I'm assuming you take raw magic, like, I shouldn't even assume, I don't know, but I really like that idea of like, here are the Lego pieces for a spell, and then you mix and match and kind of put it together. Reminds me a little bit of the video game Magicka, which if you haven't played Magicka, you should. It's really fun. But there you combine things like, I'm going to combine a shield with fire, and then I can make like a big fire wall or something. Or I'm going to combine water and fire to make a steam spell. And so I kind of think that is how it might work, or at least that's what I'm hoping. Dynamic summoning system, which I'm very curious about because I really like the idea of a summoner. The new classes that we talked about earlier, new 19 themed subclasses, a whole new dragon brood. So there are the different dragons that live on the moon, and they are up there on the moon, and they're going to come down every so often. It's pretty crazy. 150 new spells, 40 terrifying magical creatures. So you don't need Elyse's Guide to Dragon Bonding for this. This is says here that this will be an introduction to the Dragon Bond setting. Let's look at some of our special guest writers now that we can see them. Amy Vorpal, big fan. Banana Chan, super big fan. Keith Baker, the biggest of fans. There's some really great people on here. So a lot of times with supplements, I like to say, oh, here is something cool, and this is how you can steal that and use it in whatever setting you're playing in. But as more and more stuff comes out for 5e, I'm finding myself that I like to limit my players on what they can choose from when I'm playing a specific setting. So if I'm playing a Ravenloft setting, I definitely don't want X, Y, and Z in that setting kind of a thing, because I want to keep it like this. And then running a 6 to 8 session in that world is really fun. And it's very thematic, and everybody has a reason to be there rather than trying to shoehorn in the, I don't know, Yuan-Ti Ranger from Cholt into my Ravenloft campaign. So something like the World of Dragon Bond is really appealing to me because it is so thematic and has this rich history because of the board game that they created, and they're able to kind of weave that around. I'll link my first video of Elyse's Guide to Dragon Bonding down in the links below. There's also a link there that takes you to the Kickstarter if you are interested and want to peruse. $25 for the PDF, not too bad, because you're getting a 300-page plus PDF that you could use for anywhere the rest of your life. Pretty great. Thanks to Draco Studios for keeping me in the know of their new stuff and sending me the Elyse's Guide to Dragon Bonding PDF so that I have a chance to look over all of this again with you. And if you're interested in more Dragon Bonding stuff, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I can do a deeper dive on the Elyse's Guide to Dragon Bonding now that that PDF is in my hands. As always, I'm Jordan, and I will see you all in the next video.